What's up, everybody? Mike here, and in this Dragon's Dogma 2 video, I want to go over some more details regarding vocations of the game to kind of give you guys a better understanding of them, what they are, what they can do, things like that. Kind of help you decide on like which vocation to choose starting off, and maybe what you'll end up with, later on as well. But by all means, I definitely recommend swap out, switch it up, experiment, try them all out if you want to figure out which one's right for you, because it's all important to figuring out what vocations like the best and party, optimization and synergy, things like that. Dragon's Dogma 2 comes out later this week, so I want to make sure I put this video out before it releases, so that way you guys have a good heads up on what to expect with these different vocation classes. Let's start off with the fundamentals. The fighter is one of the 4 basic vocations available in Dragon's Dogma 2. If you are looking for a good old-fashioned melee combat build, this is going to be a good starting point. Equipped with a sword and shield, the fighter will be a capable vocation with both offensive and defensive purposes, fulfilling the role of a damage-dealing tank. I can see this being one of the popular choices for new players as well as veterans. For me personally, I'm excited to try this out as my starting vocation before I eventually switch to Mystic Spearhand. For a much more damage-focused melee class, you're going to want to look at the Warrior, another vocation players should look forward to. The Warrior is an advanced vocation and has access to some of the most devastating attacks across all vocations. Unlike fighters with their one-handed swords, warriors will take the battlefield with heavier two-handed weapons, and while lack of a shield makes them more vulnerable to damage, being able to wear heavy armor should mitigate that issue to some extent, along with certain skills of the warrior vocation. Keep in mind, warriors by nature are going to be slower in terms of their movement, etc., compared to other vocations. Back to the basics with another starting vocation called Archer, your jumping off point if you want to play Dragon's Dogma 2 as a ranged build. Archers are more vulnerable to damage than most vocations in the game, but thanks to the use of their bows, they are able to keep a good distance from enemies and seek out useful positions and vantage points on the battlefield. In addition to being able to fire off quick flurries of attacks, the Archer will also be capable of identifying enemy weaknesses for companions to exploit. Many of you, I'm sure, are looking forward to this next basic vocation called Thief. This is similar to Strider from Dragon's Dogma 1, but without the ranged attacks of the bow. The Thief focuses largely on melee combat, essentially being your classic rogue, using their agility and nimbleness to their advantage by maneuvering around the battlefield, swiping and slashing at enemies with quick flurries of attacks with their twin daggers. Additionally, true to their name, Thieves will be able to also steal items from enemies and other NPCs. This is likely to come in handy in and out of combat. The last basic vocation in Dragon's Dogma 2 is Mage. This is a jack-of-all-trades magic user, and much like the Archer, this class is best suited for ranged combat. Their defense attributes are not the best, but still offer a number of advantages in the magicals department, from being able to use offensive spells to supporting allies with healing spells, stat and elemental buffs, and more. But for those who love a more damage-focused magic class, the advanced vocation Sorcerer is the way to go. It plays quite differently from Mage. Unlike the well-rounded Mage, the Sorcerer focuses almost exclusively on dealing damage using their larger two-handed staff to cast deadlier spells, including several area of effect ones. There is a catch, however, since Sorcerer spells take a longer time to charge. While those cooldowns are in effect, you will have to find ways to stay away from enemies and avoid taking damage. Another advanced vocation in Dragon's Dogma 2 is the Magic Archer, a hybrid vocation that combines magical and ranged abilities, and like a few classes in the game, can't be used by pawns. Equipped with magic-infused bow and arrows, Magic Archer is similar to the regular Archer, a ranged specialist that can do a little bit of everything from dealing damage to supporting and healing allies. Magic Archers also have a unique ability that allows them to unleash a deadly area of effect attack by sacrificing a chunk of their max HP. The Mystic Spearhand is next, and the one I'm looking the most forward to playing as, since it's a hybrid vocation combining magic and melee, almost like you are a Jedi. This is another vocation only usable by the player. This vocation allows you to equip a weapon known as the Duo Spear when facing enemies head-on in up-close battles. Meanwhile, from a distance, you will still get plenty of use out of this class thanks to its unique ability to paralyze enemies and even send objects in the environment crashing into them like you are a Jedi. Next up is the Trickster, an advanced vocation which is another class exclusive to the player and can't be used by pawns. Tricksters use a weapon called a sensor, a unique tool that expels smoke that can conjure illusions to turn the tide of battle. From what the devs have talked about with this vocation, it seems to focus on support using its abilities to buff allies. This vocation will also use its illusions to trick enemies into falling off cliffs and more. The final vocation, number 10, is called Warfare, an advanced vocation that can be best described as the ultimate jack of all trades. The Warfare is the only vocation in the game that is not tied to just a single weapon type, but instead can use the weapons and skills of all other vocations in the game. There is a caveat to this a bit here, though. You can only use up to 3 vocations at a time with this particular one, as far as, like, say, if you wanted to, mix it up with Fighter, Sorcerer, and then Mystic Spearhand, right? You'd only be able to use weapons from those 3 vocations at a time when using the Warfare. But still, if you like to experiment and keep switching up your playstyle in the heat of battle, then this class is for you. Do keep in mind a Warfare's versatility does come at a cost, with all of this class base stats being lower than those of other advanced vocations in the game. So that wraps it up for this video when it comes to the vocations. I hope it was helpful and informed you better on how these vocations work and will, be effective in Dragon's Dogma 2 overall. We still don't know all the full details and things like that, as far as like their skills, augments, things like that can, be unlocked and utilized. And I'm looking forward to seeing how different each of these play once they're maxed out in their vocations. And as far as we know so far, when it comes to unlocking these, I believe you go to like a guild, a vocation guild, and that's when you can unlock and switch to different vocations. If you're wondering how to even unlock different ones in the first place, based on what I've heard and read, that seems to be the case for Dragon's Dogma 2. So I'm very excited about this game. Definitely going to be jumping into this day one. Let me know your thoughts on this, though, guys. If you enjoyed this video, please drop a like, subscribe if you're new. There's also other ways you can support, too, if you want to go above and beyond. Check out my link in the description below with CD keys. You can get Dragon's Dogma 2 from there for cheaper, save you a ton of money, as well as support me as a content creator with that. There's also YouTube memberships as well if you want to join that. So up to you guys. But yeah, let me know your thoughts and comments below about this. What you going to play first as vocation in this game? What's going to be your main vocation? Or you swap out the different ones? Let me know. My name's Mike. Thanks for watching.